I mean, apparently for realsies, Darth Vader does have a colostomy bag. So that man wears diapers. But I've been thinking about Darth Vader's duds. I've been thinking about his stuff, not his stuff, but like what he wears. Okay, and we have one
Mm-hmm.
article that went up by Anthony Grumuglia called "Darth Vader's suit fed him drugs and protected him from Anakin's worst enemy," and I just love that because it actually did feed him Sith drugs, uh, and like
Right.
to keep him like strong, like it gave him a little boost, sort of like Captain America, but always. And I think these things were like in his helmet, and they shot him in the cheek or the eyeball or something. It's real messed up, but pretty great. You should go read that. But then a question occurred to me as I was looking into that article and helping research and what have you. And the question was what became this article title by Aaron Gretsch, and it is, "What did Darth Vader's buttons do?" You know, like his cool little 8-track thing on his
Mm-hmm.
chest.
Yeah.
Like, I always kind of wondered that.
Yeah.
And the more that I was like looking around the internet, the more I saw that other like-minded folks were wondering that too. I'm going to save the actual answer for later, and I want you to have some that are on deck. And Handsome Greg, you might have to come in here too with a couple of your guesses before I actually give the official one. So I want to start off on Twitter. And our Twitter starts with at Team Adopt Me, which is David Statter, who says, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to do a Darth Vader impression, Ben. I'm so sorry. Everybody has one." "Hey Google, what is the weather like on Endor right now?" So it's a Google. So it's an Alexa. Okay, that's what it is.
Oh,
That's what
that's
David said.
okay.
Like, I don't know. Is that kind of because you're wearing it on your chest? That could be a thing. They talk into those dumb tampons all the time though.
Yeah.
Whenever
I
they're
mean,
trying
when
to
I used
communicate.
to when I used to work out, I had my iPod, right? Like, remember before we had
Yeah.
like iPhones and like earpods and stuff? Like, you would strap your giant like freaking like iPod to your arm, and then like
Yeah.
you'd work out and stuff like that. Like, I had that, so I mean, it's not that hard for me to believe that he has his
There's
iPod
something
strapped to his chest, like an Alexa strapped to his chest.
it'd be kind of cool. Shuffle. You actually gave me that iPod. I don't know if you
Oh,
remember.
that's right. I forgot that like
Frightening.
Nano that I had or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a frightening amount of Nickelback. The next one is
Did I not wipe it before I gave it to you? What a dumb!
you did
I can't believe
not do that. Oh,
I can't believe
dude,
I didn't do that.
the
Yeah.
blackmail that I have on you right now is
I
frightening.
can't. Yeah, I'm sure there's like Britney Spears and stuff on there
Oh, that's
probably.
fine. That's all good. Daily Dwarf at Daily Dwarf says of the buttons: espresso, latte, flat white. That's it. Like those are the things that he drinks: espresso, latte, flat white. He clicks the buttons and he gets one of those things. That makes sense to me too. He's a coffee drinker.
Yeah,
How does he do that? Through his mask? Don't know, but he does.
just
Uh
shot straight into his veins. I think
oh, maybe that's the Sith drugs. Maybe it's just like a hyper dose of caffeine, and
it's just caffeine.
he's so ornery.
Something wrong with his medulla oblongata.
He's ornery
Yeah,
because he's got like the caffeine going all the time.
yeah.
Speaking of which, at Kevin Zero the Great says simply, "They did sexual stuff."
Like it's like like he presses the buttons and the suit vibrates or something.
He he didn't go into it. Let me check my notes. Nope, they did sexual stuff, says Kevin on Twitter.
Okay.
That's it. I guess they could do sex. Maybe they could vibrate at some kind of Sith-like speed to get his holocron going. I don't know, man. Kashalonga. I love that. That's really fun. That's got a nice mouthfeel to it. Just put a picture of Simon. You know the game Simon? It's like the call and repeat thing.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like the proto bop it,
Yep,
twist it, bop it,
yep.
jump. Chocolate milk spelled in the elite form. Just said this is one of my favorite ones. One of those buttons orders more Tide Pods from Amazon. Darth Vader's a millennial, and you can take that to the bank. All right, Facebook. I'm going to shoot through these real quickly. These are pretty great. David Yarwood said half and full flush. If you've ever been to like a nice restaurant
Yeah,
or the UK, I guess those are the
yeah,
only two places that have these. There's like the half, and for the brown town, you do the full one, and
yep,
then that's what he
yep.
has. I mean, apparently for realsies, Darth Vader does have a colostomy bag, so That man wears diapers, which is fine. Chuck Quinn on Facebook said, "Chop blend smoothie life alert." Now, I want to talk about this one because that escalated very quickly. Those are those are four
Yeah.
very different things.
One of those things is not like the other two or
Like
three, right? Like there's
so
four things.
four
Fourth
things,
one, very different.
very, very different. Chuck, come on, man, calm down. Like you can't go chop blend smoothie life alert. This is not like, can you imagine Darth Vader who's fallen and he can't get up? Oh my god, and he's got to reach for it.
Like, would he push himself up with the Force though? Could he like do that? I feel like that's a thing we've seen Jedis do, right? They kind of
I mean, I
like
guess they do.
if
They
he's
do.
laying down and he like breaks his hip, like if he's like an old dude, he breaks his hip.
Yeah.
Can he then use his arms and the Force to lift himself up?
I mean, we could spend all day and night here discussing that one, Ben. Jeez, that's like werewolves versus moonmen. Like, there's no way to answer it. But I'll tell you what would probably happen is he would, not knowing his strength in the Force anymore, he'd probably like do that and then comically fly against the wall and break his other hip and he'd be like, "Oh God!" And then he realizes that it's because he went so high, it's the high ground, and oh man, he's scared about that. So, you know.
That
It's
sounds
that
like
whole
a
thing.
deleted scene from Spaceballs or something.
It's definitely in Spaceballs. Mark Nazarino said, all right, so he quotes one of my favorite videos of all time, and I don't know if you've seen this. This came out when I think it was Phantom Menace came out, and Triumph the Insult Comic Dog was interviewing a lot of the people who were cosplaying and waiting to go into this film. And Mark here just put a little thing of that with Triumph looking around at the switches on this cosplayer's outfit and says,
"Which of these buttons calls your parents to pick you up?"
Just a nice little dig there. Getting to my last one, okay. And I will say real quickly, this is just a very funny one. This might be my comment of the week. It is another GIF response from Office Space in the classic scene where Mike Judge's character, who runs the restaurant, is talking to Jennifer Aniston's character and just goes up to her and says, "We need to talk about your flair." And I think that is great. I can totally see Emperor Palpatine coming up to Darth Vader, having designed this thing for him to ostensibly kill him whenever he wants, and just being like, "We need to talk about your flair." And the Nazis had flair in that movie. Ben, before I tell you what the actual response, and Greg, I would like you to come in here just thereafter. What do you think? Both real, fake, what? Like, just give me your response. What do you think that those things were? Because there is an actual answer to this.
Yeah. Okay, so I have two answers. One, I think each of the buttons corresponds to a DCEU movie that he has constantly playing on his. So, like, he's got the Snyder. He saw the Snyder Cut before anybody else, so that's one of the buttons.
He is in tremendous pain all the time, so that does track.
There's Wonder Woman 1. There's now Wonder Woman 2's on there. He's got to reprogram some of them now because there may be too many movies for the amount of buttons that are on there.
Sure.
I assumed, in all seriousness, that it has to do with it's his breathing in some capacity.
Okay.
That's what I assumed, is that it has something to do with it's monitoring his breathing, and so it's adjusting, and that's why it lights up and stuff. And then he can also change things on there, I guess, depending on I don't know what atmosphere he's in. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's just sex stuff all over again. That's fine. That's your answer.
Yep.
Very good answers. Handsome Greg, what do you think is the true answer, or whatever answer you would like to give, about what these damn chest things are?
I guess I always thought it was something kind of communication related, like some sort of intercom system or something. He's got to be able to talk to people, so it's like a Star Trek communicator, only it's not Star Trek because that's blasphemy. But yeah, I always thought it was I always thought it was something kind of communication related.
Okay, I like that. I like that answer. Ben is just menacingly holding up a Darth Vader helmet, right? Is that your piggy bank? What is that exactly?
No, it's an actual Darth Vader helmet.
Oh, it's a thing. That is menacing. Are you kidding me?
Hold on, I'm gonna put a DCU movie on really quick. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you both for your great and incorrect answers. Well, kind of. They're semi-correct there, Doth. Okay, so in the article by Aaron, what did Darth Vader's buttons do? According to Star Wars Darth Vader, a 3D reconstruction log written by Dan Wallace, the top left corner of his chest plate holds 3 switches. So the one at the top controls the neural systems data, the center controls the respiratory systems data, and the bottom controls the circulatory systems data. You can control your circulatory system. Okay, seems unnecessary. To its right lies a blue and red button, which control the suit's auto control functions and manual override, respectively. I'm going to come back to that in a second. There are 4 more switches below these buttons. The gray ones are program switches meant for Darth Vader's convenience, while the red switch to the right served as a system reset. Okay, now the article does go into this and how, as I mentioned before, Palpatine designed these in the expansive lore that it has to basically keep Darth Vader weak or have a weak spot. But having all of that shit on your outside, that's like having your heart, your lungs, like an off switch on your outside.
Yeah.
And as
Like,
many
what
people
happens if someone just, like, comes up to you and is like,
you are fighting people who don't need to do that. You are fighting people who can do that from like afar. You're just like can do their space wizard jam, play you like a Casio keyboard
Yeah.
from 20 miles away, and like all of a sudden they're
Yeah,
just
like, what was
switching
Obi-Wan doing? He was, like, in a lightsaber fight when all he had to be with, like, was like, there goes your circulatory system.
Yeah, exactly. Like old man. Well, he's an old guy. He couldn't really reset his VCR. He had like nothing. He couldn't do it. He needed his nephew to come in and be like, "Don't worry, I got this." Yeah, I don't know. Like it kept him weak, but because nobody knew, he didn't tell anybody that. He had some just baller ass switches on his chest. Just like
Yeah.
everybody assumed it was just cool, or like his garage door opener, or indeed, like his mixtape maker or something like that. I don't know.
Ironically, that also, though, does make it canon that it could be upside down because, like, if it's just wires, like, it could just be installed upside down.
Yeah, I guess it
Like,
could
maybe
be.
there is no, like, right or wrong way for it to go.
Yeah, just
Although
like
the
there's no.
convenience part, like, I guess, suggests that there is a right or wrong way,
Well,
but
that's a bit mysterious. What does that mean for his convenience?
is it
Like
because, like, he has, like, little, like, they're, like, little guys, so he's like, "Bleep, bleep, bleep," as opposed to, like, him I don't know.
his
Maybe
little
there's
guys?
braille
What
on
do
him
you,
or something, so he can tell which button is which or something.
now, Ben? What do you mean by his little guys? Okay.